On this episode, we take you on a local mission. The conditions are absolutely perfect, and we have an epic diving crew, and we have an amazing cook-up at the end of the video. So get ready to hold your breath and join me on this adventure. Welcome underwater, and welcome to the voiceovers. Now, you guys are gonna hold your breath with me on these drops, and I hope you learned something from them. We get right into it. We're diving a nice barge in about roughly 60 feet. And one thing we're noticing when we first hop in the water is how incredible the visibility is. And not only that, the fish are around. And normally they're not this thick, but we get into some incredible different variety of fish. And this is just the first drop. And I'm actually gonna cut this dive a little short because I'm drifting towards the structure, and I have my buddy Ben who already made a drop and he shot something. So I immediately want to help him out. So I cut my dive a little short. I head up to the surface, and that's him off in the distance to the left of the screen. He shoots something, I don't know what it is, but he ends up going up to the surface, and I kind of follow him, and I cut to my GoPro once I hit to the surface to see what he got into.
Nice, dude. Nice. Woo! Nice, bro. Dude, I saw a toad of a mutton. Like a 12-pounder. Dude, that's awesome.
I can't believe it.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Black.
So while Ben was gutting that black grouper, a huge rainbow runner came in to all the chum, and I let this guy dangle a little bit too long because that shark was on my back. Scott, or I think it was Ben at the surface, he yelled, and that shark was way closer. I had no idea, didn't see a shark at all, and had no clue until I got to the surface.
You did. I heard you.
I went ahead and kept this clip rolling so you can see how much I'm babying this fish. I wasn't too positive on the shot, and usually if you grab a hard hold of the shaft and the fish does that, exactly what it did, there's a chance it could rip out. So anytime it goes crazy, berserk like that, I just give him slack, let him wear himself out, and eventually I'll be able to get a hold of his tail and take out his motor. You see, I'm not really pressuring him, I'm giving him slack, because if you hold the shaft too hard and a fish just goes crazy, there's a high chance that they're gonna rip out. Until you get their tail, you don't have that fish secure.
This is a massive rainbow. Dude, this rainbow's almost the size of that grouper. We're gonna let these guts run out, and then we'll... I know, dude, that's awesome.
Guys, it is absolutely incredible conditions out here. First drift on this spot.
Dude, Ben plugged that nice black, and immediately after I shot that rainbow.
That is probably one of my biggest rainbows I've ever shot. Well, I almost got eaten by a shark. Ben yelled at him from the surface, told him to get away from me, so saved my life. Yeah, that is absolutely, what a start. Literally first date, first drift, first dive, first everything. Look at that. We got it. The conditions are incredible, so I cannot wait to see what we get into next.
It's a nice black, dude.
I'll take it.
Dude, all day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we got some big blacks in the Bahamas.
We start off the day absolutely perfect, and this is the second drift. Now there's a big AJ kind of cruising around, like a medium-sized AJ, which is an amberjack. They're really good to smoke, but something better eating are yellowjacks. Scott went down, took a shot, and it's crazy how crystal this visibility is. And it's not always like that, but right before the wreck, there were sardines and bait fish just going crazy, and that's when the yellowjacks were hanging out. And I saw them, the crevalles, the horse eyes, the yellowjack were all just in a frenzy, and that goes to show how lively this spot was. we didn't want to, you know, hit one spot for too long, so we decided to move on to another spot. And especially since the conditions are like this, you never know what you're going to get just bouncing from spot to spot.
Hey, should I shoot this AJ for my dad to smoke? Is he legal?
This was our last drift on this rubble pile. And on that drift before, when I went down with Scott, as we were dealing with the yellowjack, I looked down and saw another black grouper. I think I saw two when they were down there, and they were in the sand. And I went down and I saw Scott kind of get after one on the next drift. And he took a shot in one, but it went right into the rubble. And the spots on this are just so deep, and the holes are so deep that if something gets off and gets in there, it has a home, and it has a really good hiding spot. So I stick my head in, I'm trying to figure out where this fish went, and I honestly think it's that crack right there. And I try to like stick my head in as far as I can, but it just, once you go in, you could go left, right, and there's no way of getting after it. So unfortunately, it was a flesh wound on this fish. He was able to get away, but we were still excited that we already have a black grouper in the box. And anything really on top of this local trip would be a bonus.
Dude! What happened? Yeah, it was sitting in the sand, right where I saw him last time.
Dude, I thought I shot him perfect on the gills. It must have been
Maybe, you looked pretty far.
it was like,
Really?
that was a close shot. It had to be hot.
We went to a different spot, and we didn't really see a whole lot on the structure, but we ended up drifting a little bit past it. And we were kind of just doing breathe ups, making drops, seeing what was cruising around, just because it was like very lively. So there's a chance that something could come across even after we hit structure, because usually there's stuff out, you know, patrolling the perimeter of structure. So I decided to do a random drop, and there was a shark kind of cruising around it. And I think maybe somebody gutted a fish. I think Scott may have shot like a small mangrove or something like that on the structure. But that shark was cruising around, and these yellowjacks were cruising with it. One gave me a shot. I was trying to stone it, and I did see that shark, so I was kind of keeping my head on a swivel, but just adding more variety to the box. And again, just, we're only doing like a half day, so we wanted to make sure we secure plenty of fish, because we have me, my dad, Scott, and Ben all on this trip. But the day is going by perfectly, and no complaints whatsoever at this point. Because the visibility is so good, we had to go out to deeper wrecks. But also with these deeper wrecks, you know, it's a little more strenuous on the body. We didn't have any flashers in the water. We also didn't really have a whole lot of chum. Actually, I think we did. I think we threw some pieces down right there. But when you're diving wreck, like deeper wrecks with structure, to get the chum to go down at the right time, it's really hard. So, you know, because you have to time the current and all that stuff. So I usually try to just make a drop on the structure, and fish are curious, so they'll come in off of something, you know, the structure, to see what you are. They might think it's a food opportunity, especially if I do a little bit of grunting. And that's what I did on this drop. It was a deeper drop. We were probably in like 90 to the sand, so I was at like 80 something on this dive, and I'm just kind of coasting down, not doing any kicking, and I'm veering towards a huge mangrove snapper. So there's a big mangrove snapper I'm kind of following. I don't know if I can see him. Yeah, he's like out in the distance, and then I end up switching my aim to a mutton snapper, and I do the lunge, take a shot, and I'm trying to give him some slack, and then I need to go try to retrieve the fish at this point. And I'm trying to pull him out, and unfortunately he got strung up. Nurse shark came in to see what the commotion was, and I'm a little bummed on this drop. It was kind of a longer drop. Wasn't really expecting to go all the way to the bottom. I was kind of just like a scanning, but I saw the huge mangrove, and then that mutton caught my attention, and that is not the last opportunity we get on a fish, but it's something you could take. Maybe I just should have taken a little bit more time on the shot and made a better shot. On this dive, we finally hit the wreck, but we were a little bit off of it, so we decided to kick towards it. But I just wanted to show you how crystal clear this water was and how much life was on the wreck. But unfortunately, not a whole lot of predator fish. No snapper, no grouper. Well, there's some Goliath grouper, and you'll see in just a minute. There was some yellowtail kind of patrolling around, but nothing really substantial, like no dog snapper, no cuberas, anything on this wreck, and you could see the whole thing. So, and I honestly think that's kind of a downside of having crystal clear visibility, is that the fish can see you, so they duck and hide pretty quickly. And I guess maybe they think they're more susceptible to predators, so they kind of just hide out, or they just patrol a different area and not stay on the main structure. But huge Goliath on the wreck, ton of bait fish, as you can see, but no substantial fish to spear. Maybe if I went all the way to the sand, something would have kind of cruised in, but we had to kick to the wreck, didn't get a chance to make a full good drop, so I ended up cutting this dive a little bit short, and we're gonna be on to the next spot. Truth be told, we got a little sick of redrifting and resetting, so we hit a couple of other structures, and we only hit them for maybe 20 to 30 seconds. So instead of pulling everything in, getting everything in the boat, and resetting for that 20-second drift, we just decided to drift in kind of no man's land. And the sharks were a little friendly. There was a lemon shark that kind of came in that was patrolling, came in a little hot. There was a kingfish kind of cruising around. So we're really hoping for, the best. There were some bait fish over there, or not some bait fish. It looks like some chubs, or, just a little bit of life. But yeah, the shark came in super hot, really friendly, a little too friendly. But it's a good sign that the shark is around, because that means there is life in the area. Because they're not going to be just hanging around for no reason. They're looking for food. So if there are sharks around, I never really get too discouraged. If I see sharks and I'm not seeing a whole lot of other things, I usually try to stick to the area where the sharks are at. And this proves to be very true, because I make another drift in just a second in this same area, just drifted. And again, it looks like a desert, no man's land. I'm just kind of patrolling mid-water column, again, looking for some kind of pelagic, amberjacks. I think maybe I did see an amberjack too a little bit ago, but it was off in the distance. And again, it was just super random out in the middle of like a desert. So we're really hoping for, I think maybe that was Scott was either lining up on an amberjack or a kingfish, but I do get something on the next drop. I wouldn't condone what we are doing on this day, which are double drops, but we have 3 divers. One person is always at the surface. The viz is crystal clear. We're not really pushing ourselves. I think we're making dives to less than 50 feet in this area because there's no structure to sit down on the bottom. Like, we kind of got close to the bottom, but we were just kind of bumping it and then heading back up. And this actually kind of works pretty well in case somebody comes into issues or they see a shark. You know, you can kind of have each other's back while you're down there, as opposed to being at the surface and having to book it down quick. But I would only recommend doing this when the viz is crystal clear, where I can see the diver down there and the buddy on top can see both of us as well. So Scott makes a drop. We're kind of just drifting mid-water column, not super deep, and both of us down there, I guess, kind of brought some attention. And that kingfish that was patrolling way off in the distance finally comes in and gets just a little bit close enough for me to make a shot. And I notice him right about, like, Scott was kind of looking in the front side, so I was kind of heading up the rear. Kingfish kind of comes in. I flip around, reach out, long shot, and freaking spine him. So I'm so stoked. This is I think it might be my first kingfish of the year. It's been a while since I got one. Decent size too. Not an absolute stud, but is a good smoker king. And it's a perfect scenario because I know that shark was lurking around. So shooting one like this, spining it, no crazy tear out or spooling me or anything. Epic fish. And again, another mix bag for the cooler.
Yeah, that was awesome.
One thing I can recommend is always bleeding your fish, especially if it's a kingfish. You'll see how much blood is in these things. So get your knife, stick it in the gills, do a little bit of sawing, and make sure you bleed these fish. And it takes a ton of blood out of the meat whenever you fillet it.
All right, this awesome dive, this beautiful kingfish came in. Now we're gonna get him on the smoker. Luckily, wasn't much of a fight. Freaking spined him, shot him right back here, right where that black mark is. And yeah, dude, these things are great. Dad is stoked. We're gonna get a smoker king. This is one of my favorite smoked fish, but let me try to get this guy in. Are you able to grab it and record?
Yeah, should be able to.
There we go. Ready?
Wait. Let me get under you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
All right, you got him?
Yep.
Yeah. Woo. Good stuff. Hell yeah.
We decide to change gears and head a little bit shallower. And by shallower, I mean like a little under, like maybe 50 feet to the sand. We have a little bit of chum. We have these big, bait balls. I think somebody, I don't know who that was. I think they may have missed a fish, or they had a fish. But I make a blind drop. Don't really see a whole lot at the beginning. But when you're kind of going down to these rock structures, other fish can see. They kind of hang out on the outskirts, like muttons and mangroves, and they'll come in to see what you are. Because, I mean, that's their home. They're hoping, like, maybe there's a food opportunity. And that's what happens right here. I'm kind of going down. I see a couple of mangroves kind of schooling around this rock. And I decide to really take my time. I'm using the Rob Allen 120, so it has a lot of power, and I don't want to shoot it into the rocks. So I could have taken a couple of shots, but I'm really kind of being selective. I have a good amount of breath left. I'm not really fighting current. This guy finally gets clear of the rocks just above it, and I'm able to land a really good shot. And this is a good size mangrove. Another variety to add to the box. And I love doing the variety because there's different ways you can cook the different fish, or not cook the fish, if you want to eat it raw. So again, huge variety added to the box, and we're not even done.
Some nice bangs. That's a good one. What? Right?
We kept drifting towards the end of those rock piles, and it got a little scarce, but I wasn't discouraged. I still make drops, even if it was just sand. It's worth making drops because muttons love to patrol sand, grassy, like edges of structure. Sometimes out in the middle of the sand, in the middle of nowhere, I've seen some huge muttons. So I make a drop to these like little pilings. Don't really see a whole lot. I mean, it's a blind drop. I'm going down, kind of keeping my eyes peeled, spinning as I'm going down. I'm kind of descending a little bit. I'm not, you know, kicking hard to the bottom. I'm just kind of free falling mid-water column. And I believe I spot a mutton right there. So again, came in, literally, you saw him come into me and then see what I was and be like, oh shoot, that's not a food opportunity. I'm just gonna take off. And that's what this guy does. He really takes off. But I could read his body language and could see that he wasn't super scared, skittish. So I decided to pursue. He's giving me the tail wag. And once he turns just enough, I aimed mid-body and landed a spine shot exactly where I was aiming. That's perfect case scenario. Another different species. I think we're at like probably 5 or 6 different species of fish, and not a ton of one or the other. It's just a ton, like just a lot of variety, and we're stoked on the day so far.
I skewered him. You ain't gonna measure him. You might, but I think he's good. Huh? Grab muddy eyeballs. Yeah, I don't think you gotta measure him.
Obviously, everything is going really well. And now that I know that muttons are around, that's what I'm keen in on. Especially the same area, the same structure. I think we may have made another drift and just kind of let the drift go on longer than probably we should have. But I head down, try to find these structures, eyes peeled for a mutton snapper. And again, I'm doing the same exact thing, and a freaking turtle comes in, kind of thinks I'm another turtle and wants to, you know, maybe get jiggy with me, but that usually happens on this spot because the turtles, you know, they think it must be like a mating ground, and they come in usually pretty hot, especially us divers that we kind of look like, you know, turtles, I guess. But I see a mutton off in the sand. That's where my eyes were peeled. And I start following it. And I like showing you guys the failures along with all the successes. But this is the same scenario as this mutton before. Gives me the tail wag. Starts to go favor one side. And what happened was I was trying to track it with my gun. If I had maybe have had 2 hands on the gun, I could have been able to track it a little quicker and a little more steady. But I got a little wobbly, and when I pulled the trigger, I kind of stopped tracking it and it threw my shot. So something learned, try to get 2 hands on the gun if you're tracking a fish like that.
Nice mutton. Huh? He was darning like, no, I shot just under him.
You guys, what a freaking day. On that one drift, I shot a mangrove and a mutton. Double snapper.
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag, baby. Let's see what we got. Look at this cooler. We got some serious color in there. Such a mixed bag. We got kingfish, black grouper, and that is epic for a local trip. Little couple, like what, like maybe 4-hour mission. And yeah, awesome diving, safe diving, and we got on the fish. So I'm stoked about that. What do you guys say, stoked on the day?
It's a nice couple hours of diving, man.
I know, right? On that last dive, turtles everywhere. There's one popping out right there. I don't know what I'm gonna cook up for you guys, but it's gonna be something special. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you guys back in. There you go.
Is that enough? No?
Yeah, for now. All right, time to get to filleting. So with this guy, make sure you get him unstiffened, like any fish. Clean down the side. And I'm gonna stake this guy out. Not stake him out, I'm gonna kind of clean him like a big tuna. Flip the knife, go down the spine on the top, and then you cut down the backbone all the way to the main spine.
I'm good. I'm just taking mine out. I'm just so I don't get rained on trying to fillet.
What's up?
That's all I saw, yeah.
I saw that.
Does Laura like them raw?
Oh yeah, that's how I'm gonna eat it. I'm just gonna do like just sweet sauce.
Alright, and now I'm gonna like quarter it or like cut it. Get the bones out. I'm gonna cut it into the chunk size I want. And this skin is real thin, so you can just cut it right off the bone, and then you fillet down all the way straight down until you hit some bloodline, and then you start cutting it out. And when I do this, I do not want it to touch fresh water because the meat gets all gray and slimy, but that's what you're left with. Yeah. I eat this stuff raw sometimes. Then I just do that same thing with the other side. Ain't nothing like getting caught in the rain and my dad getting tight on the line. Got a big old crevalle. These things were smoking the bait at the surface, or the fillets, the chunks of fillets. But yeah, look at that. We're getting dumped on. These storms are coming through. Hey, caught something. Dad caught something. All right, so we ended up getting that rainbow runner, filleting it, cutting it into little pieces, and Sister Paige is making sushi.
And that one.
It's the sushi rolls.
Yeah. And that one.
And that one. Mango, cucumber,
Avocado, some cream cheese.
We got some jalapeno. I'm gonna try this one. Am I allowed to have it?
Mango on it?
Yeah,
Wait, do we have soy sauce?
Yeah, Dutch soy sauce and ginger too.
Was it easy to make this, Paige?
It wasn't too bad. If you don't have a toddler running around, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But no, it's not too hard. But yeah, there's the final product.
Nice. Those look super good.
So these ones have scallion, cucumber, cream cheese, mango, and avocado, I think.
Just some sticky rice. Did you just follow the recipe on sticky rice?
No, I just make rice in the Instant Pot and add a little bit of rice vinegar in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, like, to make the nigiri, you just like put rice vinegar on your hands to keep the rice from sticking, and you just squeeze it into balls in your hand, and that's what makes it stick together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have one of these.
They're a little bit more flimsy. See, these ones don't have they're a little different. They don't have them.
Yeah, that rainbow runner's like butter.
Yeah. I didn't even try it. I meant to try it, but I didn't.
Super good. Zero strings
Would you like
in
some
that
sushi
stuff.
without
That's
the
so
fish in it?
freaking good. But you guys, I'm gonna end this video now so I can go in there and enjoy this time with my family. I absolutely love taking you on those little local missions. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new, consider subscribing. I drop a video every Tuesday. I try to post it at 3 o'clock. And also, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. I do my best to respond. I love you guys for the support, so thank you so much, and I will see you next week for another adventure. Later.